There we go. Can you all hear me nice and clearly?
Yeah.
Happy Easter, everyone. It's still here. It's still
Happy
Easter time. Very nice. I looked through notes to find out what people wanted, and there is a request, but we've kind of covered it before, but I might do it next week, although I think this might extend to next week, what I'm about to do today, because as I've said, the 20K giveaway season is here and it's coming upon us with a vengeance. And it's interesting how many people will have callbacks, will have leads, but haven't got consolidated appointments. And that's what I decided I wanted to talk about, because I had a nice chat with Gail Bannister, senior group leader, and she said that there was someone that came on one of hers, and he was told by his upline, not in her business, that basically you're only there to get leads and then you follow up with calls. Can I just share this with you? I can see Val shaking her head in disbelief. I'll say this to you. We're not there to just get a load of forms filled in and get possible leads. We're there to get appointments. And if you do it right, there is no reason on this earth why you can't get an appointment if it's done properly. Okay, so what I'm going to say to you is that today is all about that. There is lots I could cover. It's a massive subject. It's huge. So I'm gonna sort of delve in and first of all show you just a couple of things that can help you. I'm going to share my screen on the partner portal, and you should be seeing Lisa Ware's desktop or dashboard.
Yes.
Please don't think you've got to go buying loads of stuff, because you haven't. There's lots of us have got it already, and I may not have Ben Fogle all on one bill, but it doesn't really matter. It's all about being there and talking to people. All right, that's the essence. But what I do want to show you, if you click, please note, Learning Portal, and then if you click your A to Z, and then click the hash, it's there. Number one, 20K giveaway. All right, so hopefully you've written all that down. And what I'm just doing is showing you lots of stuff that is available to all of us. Lots of great things. Do listen to a podcast. Do have a look at the downloads. All right. Have a look at all of it. Have a look at this stuff. There's a Facebook. Somebody's not muted and they're coughing. If they can mute, please, that would be great at this point. So there's lots of information there to help you to start with, okay? But what I'm now going to say is that stuff's all great and good, but what counts is what you say to folk. And many people believe it's about what you wear. It's all that kind of stuff. And honestly, it really isn't. It really isn't. It's about building rapport with people and engaging. Now, it is a useful item to have perhaps a purple utility warehouse top on, and obviously to be warm and to have food that you possibly need and drinks, because you do a lot of talking at these events. But what it's really about is engaging. And if you do this right, and we usually do it in little groups, 2s, 3s, 4s. 4s are usually max. Big shows, very big shows are different. We've had some like the Romsey show when we had, I think we had 9 that day, and we still didn't have enough people. It was that busy. But it's all about how you do it. So the most important thing is you do need people that are just outside of your area of influence. I won't say sales, because that's horrid, but your stand, that are going to be there giving slips to entice people to come over. And first of all, I'm going to talk about that, because if this bit's done right, everything else follows wonderfully. And there's a lot of people do not do this bit right. Can I just say to you, if you say to somebody, would you like to win £20,000? They'll say no. If you'd like to ask them, would they like to go into a free prize draw? They'll say no. If you ask them, would they be interested in reducing their gas and electric and phone and broadband? They'll say no. All right. Everybody wants to buy something, but nobody wants to be sold to. Is that not true? Always, that is true. So it's all about what we say. And as Big Al says, skills pay the bills. Okay, so skills here. So what you have to do is become a Barbie with one of those smiley faces that's by the end of the day, you feel like it's going to crack that you've smiled that much. But if you don't smile with somebody and you're there with a sullen, straight face, they'll see you as a miserable so-and-so and they won't engage with you. It's very hard, if you think about this, for a person to be nasty to somebody that's smiling and engaging. And in fact, they say that we humans, now we're not in this muzzled world, thank God, we humans tend to mirror each other. And if we smile at someone, they find it very difficult not to smile back. They copy what we do. And that is to our advantage. So what I tend to do is Jimmy Chapman's 3-foot rule. And if I'm 6 foot away, it becomes a 3-foot rule because I get 3 foot closer. Okay. So we have some of these slips and we take one and we look at them and we go up to them without interrupting any other stands. Really important. And we just kind of thrust it towards their hands and say, this is for you. Hand it to, and I would, if Kev was on the stand, I'd be go, Kev, are you free? And he'll say, I'm free. And I'll say, look, Kev's waiting for you. Go and see him, hand it to him. He's going to put you in a drawer. And you know, the funny thing is, most of the general public are so used to being told what to do in their day job when they were at school, right through their life. When you're kind and you're nice and you kind of help them along and you say something like that, they follow. They just do what they're told. And I know that Kev has witness to this, and it happens, doesn't it, Kev? Yeah. So remember, it's give them a slip and say, take this, or this is for you, take this. It's a little gentle order. Don't say to them, would you like this? You'll get a no. Take this. Oh, look, there's Kev. Kev, are you free? Kev waves and says, I'm free. And guess what? Say, go over to Kev. He's going to put you into a free draw right now. How great is that? And now it's all about the engagement of what goes on. So you should have a clipboard and you should have 20k giveaway forms. There's various ways you can do this. If you're very new and it's very hard to engage with people because you're quite embarrassed, and I totally get that because I remember my early days. And I think when we first start off, we all feel a bit awkward because we're engaging with complete strangers. Now, the county shows like we're doing this weekend, these are wonderful because people are already in what I call a happy mood. They are there to enjoy themselves. This isn't trying to run through Lidl's or Morrison's. Oh, God, it's the weekly shop. Got to do that again. Oh, let's just get this over and done with, in and out as fast as possible. Got to be one of the hardest things to do is to get somebody engaged to stop when they're actually going to do something which they consider a chore. But if they're off to a nice fete or fair or show, now that's different. If anybody ever turns round to you and gives you what I call the hand, And there's some people here that know what I mean. Or if they say, oh, sorry, I'm very busy. Do you know what? That is carte blanche, just let them go. Because they are there to have a day, have some fun. That's what it's about. They're there to browse, to look, to see what's going on. So they've now come over to you. You've got your clipboard, you've got your bits, hopefully under the stand. You've got your diary already, and you're not wearing a lanyard like one of those horrible street sellers, that you've got just a nice little name badge. Guys, if you're watching this for the first time, big top tip, name badge. All right, it's huge. That will increase your chances by 50% because it's giving open gestures. It's actually letting them know who you are. So you're now not a mystery. Really important. So they come over, let's pretend I'm Kev. All right. So first thing I tend to do myself is say to them, hi, nice to meet you. Are you having a great time? Well, why wouldn't you say that? They've come along to a show. Oh, what have you enjoyed so far? What's been the best? Here you are. Great question. It's a question that absolutely forces an answer. So what have you seen so far you liked best? All right, that's a great question because now they've got to engage with you. They've got to chat. And actually, they might be willing to chat. And then once the little bit of rapport's over, I always say, hi, my name's Lisa. As it says on my badge, it reminds me all day who I am. Big smile, gets a laugh. Yeah, corny as hell, but it works. And then say, right, I'm going to put you into this free draw. Let's just get your details down, then I'll tell you a bit about it. I go straight in there because what I'm after are those details. So I always say to them, I'm Lisa and you are, and do you know what happens? If you give your first name, they'll give you their first name, they'll mirror. And you want their first name because if you ask a British person their name, they're just like a sergeant major and they will return with Bridget or Smith as if they're in the army. And you don't want that. You want to build rapport. So there you are, get their name. So that I say Lisa, they write, and then they give you the surname. Wonderful. So you've got the first bit. Then I say to them, right, the lucky winner's mobile number is a big smile. And now you get their mobile number. Or when they're elderly, I say the best contact number. And they'll always, the elderly will always give you a landline number. If you ask them for their home phone, they'll go, no, I'm ex-directory. Bear that one in mind. But if you ask them for the best, if you say best landline contact number or best contact number, you usually with the elderly get a landline, and then wonderfully you can say, oh, if you weren't in, oh, what's your mobile number that they can contact you on? And now you've got two numbers. That's good. You're building the contact details. Now, what I don't personally bother with is email addresses. I feel that's incredibly encroaching, and it starts to kind of like build up, oh my God, how much stuff are they going to send me, this company? You can feel it. So I never worry about an email address. But what I do take is I ask for their postcode first and then the first line of their address. That's all you need. You can get the rest from the Royal Mail. Postcode and first line of address. So now you've got the basics. So now I say to them, I bet you're wondering what this is all about. And that's what's actually going on in their head. So to pose the question that's going on in their head is fantastic because they're thinking, oh, they're going to tell me. So you then say, right, well, utility warehouse, and then you point to your stand and say they've been going 26 odd years now. And this is the only way other than word of mouth that they reach out to the public, because they don't do TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, outbound calling, none of that. It's all this word of mouth. And so today we're here personally promoting a company that possibly you've never heard of. You've covered it. Fantastic. So they do the stuff that's highly, at the moment, sorry, it's all in the news, I'm afraid. We can't avoid it. It's a crisis going on, isn't it? Our government is forcing a crisis. It's all about prices going up. Oh, did you feel that 1st of April price rise? Ask them and say, right, well, this company is all about reducing bills. Now, some people will go straight into the presentation that you can get, and you can download it off the partner portal, the presentation at a 20k giveaway. Personally, I've never done that. And I believe if something works, don't break it. And I am the lady that actually set this up, the very first one, all those years ago, back in 2014. And it was an ideal home exhibition. So I've been doing this a very long time and probably built the whole of my nearly 23,000 group customers on this. So it works exceedingly well. So the first thing I do is I say, right, I believe the proof is in the eating. And do you know what? As a customer, and I've been a customer for 19 years, I bet you'd love to see what they really do. And I just whip out my bill, a recent bill. And I take the bill, and the more services you can have on that bill, the better, because you can be more authentic. And authenticity is key here. All right. So I then actually say to them, well, if you take a look at this first page, look, this is a resume of what I've got. And I've got 6 services. I can't have a gas because I'm off mains in the countryside. And I explain that there's electricity and there's mobile and there's phone and fibre broadband. And then I've also got buildings and contents insurance, and I've got boiler and home care. And I'll say 6 services. Look, this is nuts. Take a look at this, £147. Crazy. But now let me show you something that makes Utility Warehouse absolutely unique. And I flick through the pages, just show them, and then I go to that incredible page, which is all about cashback. And I talk them through, and I'll be explaining that, well, as you can see, like most folk, I spend my life in the supermarket. There's Tesco's, there's Sainsbury's, there's Waitrose, there's Lidl's when I'm feeling like I want a discount store. There's parking, just park is parking, pay and display. And then I'll say, oh, look, we went to the Langton Arms for a Sunday roast. How nice was that? That gave me 1%. Sainsbury's 3%, Tesco's 1%. And I'm running through it and I'm showing them and I'm saying, but you see, this everyday spending is giving money back, and they're small amounts. And do you know what tends to happen as I do this? They look and they go, but it all adds up. Now, when they say it, as Alan P says, it's true. When they say it, it's true. And you say, that's absolutely right, it does. And then I go back to the first page of my bill and I say, look what happens. It reduces my bills. How would you like your everyday spending to reduce or eliminate the cost of your services? Now, that's entirely different to saying to somebody, do you want to save money? Because I'm sorry, but that's what every other company says. And we are different. We don't just save people money, we eliminate, we reduce bills, and that is entirely different. And when they say, well, yeah, of course, there it is. They've already accepted. If they then say, well, yeah, I say, great, we need to meet. Now, I never made that line up. I nicked that one off of Rob Barris. I heard it years ago. I thought, fantastic, because if you say to somebody, would you like an appointment? They'll go, no, thank you. That's what happens. But if they've said to you, well, yeah, I'm really interested. Oh my God, that's good. Oh, that's different. I say, great, we need to meet. And all I do is grab my diary, I open it up and I don't let them see. And then I'm going, oh, well, I'm very busy, as you can imagine, reducing people's bills. Would you be available? And here it is, the alternative close. Would you be available on either Thursday or Friday this week? Can you do either of those days? Now, what it makes the brain do is it makes the brain think, perhaps go to their diary if they've got it on them, or it makes them think about what's going on. Or you could say, well, I know when I'm free. When are you definitely not free? Now you can change it, because by asking them when they're definitely not free, it's gradually bringing about when they are free. But I prefer to say to them, look, I'm available. I've got Thursday or Friday. Is that any good to you? And do you work during the day? And they might say, yeah. Say, oh, so it's going to be evenings, isn't it? Or a weekend possibly. And they go, yeah. And I'll say, right, okay. So you say Thursday. Would that be the afternoon or the evening? Now, the reason I'm only offering the afternoon or the evening was because I might already have an appointment in the morning and I'm trying to get this to work with me. And what I'll say to you is, the more specific you can be on this consolidation of an appointment, the better your chances. If you're one of those people that seems to be available at any time, you are basically saying to them, I am at your beck and call, and they will treat you so. Okay, so this is about you now giving yourself value, that your time is as valuable as theirs. So they've now said, for example, yeah, I can do Thursday afternoon. So now more alternative glows, and I'll say, is that sort of 1 o'clock or is that more 3 o'clock? Or are you thinking later? And now we're pinning it down. And then they say 3:30 would be good. Now, for many of you, you're at this point, you're going inside, yes, I've got a 3:30 appointment. It's in the diary. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't consolidated it at this point. Because what you now do is, once they've done that, you now say, can I just ask you, because I treat other people the way I like to be treated, and I won't let you down, I'm going to just ask you, can you think, is there anything at 3:30 that could get in the way? Because I'm coming a fair distance. And petrol being the way petrol prices are, there's also that to consider. And what you're doing is adding value to your time, to you as a person. And I can tell you there's a number of people that in the past, that even when they've given me one of these appointments, they haven't consolidated it until I have said, and then miraculously they somehow remember, oh, I've got a doctor's appointment, or I've got to go and wash the dog, or whatever it may be. Yes. So now you're back to, right, let's get a time that is definitive, and I won't let you down and you won't let me down, because it's so valuable what I'm coming to do for you to reduce those bills, that it's worth its weight in gold, or something like that, because you're adding value all the time that you're doing this. And you're probably thinking, but I just want to get the appointment, I want them to go. No, this is the bit that makes the difference. This is the bit that stops the cancellations. Yeah, really important. So now we're back to it, and then you say to them again, so this is good. And when I come to see you, you're not going to be ringing me up in the morning and saying something else has happened, are you? Because don't they do that? You want to stop that. You want good appointments. So now you write it in the diary, and now on an appointment card or a business card, or on the I nearly called it win a mini slip. No, on the 20k giveaway, there is a section you can pull it off and you can write that down. Now, there is theory about not giving your number out so they can't ring and cancel. Personally, I think if you've done a good consolidation, you don't need to do that. You really don't need to do that. If you're driving for about half an hour or more, you have still got a ring. And I don't know if you know this, folks, but if you were to book an engineer, say for Sky to come and do TV or something like that, do you know they get 3 or 4 continuous text messages? What about if you book a dental appointment? You get all this follow-up stuff, because people are notorious for letting people down. It is actually quite dreadful. So why should we treat it any differently? Our time is important. All right. So I personally give them an appointment card, and it has just my mobile number on it. Doesn't have the website, nothing like that. So they can go off and do their so-called research. Yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? All right. So now you've got a consolidated appointment. So I want you to unmute yourselves. All right, because there's other ways to do this, but I want you to unmute, and I would like some questions or objections as to what I've said, or things that you want to know. All right, so do feel free. Let me, yes, Jen.
What if you can't slip?
What if you can't slip? Then it's harder. Generally speaking, it's harder. If you're allowed to walk out of your stand, I personally would not ever be stood behind a podium anyway. I would be out front. This is important, guys. Whatever you do, don't stand there like an aficionado holding your clipboard. You just look like one of those canvassers in the street, and people hate that. So clipboards down, all that down, hands free, and just talk to people as they come along. And I call it the all-encompassing, Jen. I do what I call see the hand. This is important, because if you do that, that is confrontational. But if you do that, it's gentle, and just usher them and say, oh, come on, let's put you in the draw. If you win, I win. I'd love you to win. Because you've given them a reason why you'd like them to go in the draw. Because if you win, I win. Does that help, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anybody else? No. What? No questions?
Yeah. Suggestion. This came from one of my people that I did the WAM with yesterday, which I thought was quite good. And they said, you know, exactly the same thing that you asked, Jen. And we said, what you could very, very, very simply say is, hi, morning, folks. Happy Easter. We're giving away £20,000 in our annual draw. And guess what? You've got to be in it to win it. Shall we get you in? Slightly different way of doing it, you know.
Can I just say, personally, I wouldn't major on £20,000 giveaway. We're in unprecedented times, and you're going to see this coming weekend. There is no way I'm majoring on £20,000 giveaway. I'm going to major it on the fact that there is an energy crisis, and get them talking and engaging with you about how they feel all this price rises in the supermarket. In fact, if you start to talk to them about what's going on, inflation, and how petrol prices are going up, you will already have engagement. And that's the key to this, is engagement. It's rapport. And then you can gently bring it in. Look, as it happens, almost a throwaway, as it happens, you know, we'd love to show you what Utility Warehouse does, because it's different, but also there's a chance to win £20,000, and I'd love you to win, because if you win, I win. All right. I just feel that majoring on what you call the 14, we know it's not 14 million to 1, but it's big chances, isn't it, that one person's going to win. Whereas what we're there for ultimately is to really engage with them and get them talking about their bills. Yes, I saw a hand go up somewhere. Rose, was it?
Yes, it was me, Lisa. Thanks. Just a quick one. How do you deal with somebody who you don't really know their age. And I'm thinking of the younger generation, because I know when I was at the 20K with Kevin last year and Melanie, I did have quite, you know, like young students, and you've got to be 18 or over, haven't you, to enter? How would you deal with that scenario when you're not actually sure if the person is 18 or over,
Do you know what?
other than asking them?
What I'd say, I'll say, sorry, I'm of that generation that everybody looks young these days. Do you mind me asking, are you old enough to buy a pint? Or something like that. And you know what? They actually, they probably laugh, because what you're doing is you're turning it back on you, and they're having a laugh at you, laughing at yourself. And you know, I do find it more difficult to actually guess people's ages the older I've got. And I don't think there's any harm in doing that. And then if they say why, I say, oh, because you've got to be at least 18 to be in the draw. Now, if you happen to do that to somebody that's 25, they're going to go, oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, somebody else said something. Oh, I can see there's a chat thing. Hang on. Yeah, have a look at the chat. I've got a 20K banner that's never been used if anyone would like to make use of it. Answer, yes. Me.
You'd like it.
That's me. Thank you.
I'll bring it with me on Sunday then.
Okay, wonderful. Right. Oops, hang on. Anybody else? Any other questions? Does anybody do the presentation thing at 20K giveaways? You know, the whole sheet that you read out. Does anyone do that way? No?
Lisa, I feel like the new one is quite wordy, isn't it? I don't know if you've seen the new presenter, but I was doing a WAM on Saturday, and I ended up just not even looking at it in the end, because it's
horrendous.
Yeah. I went back to the old one to kind of just do a few I just point out things. I don't read. I just do my own script, I guess. But
Michelle, I personally have always found it very wordy anyway. And when you know what it's like when you're there all day, don't you find that you're constantly drinking water because you're like, I'm talking so much? But the key to this, and hopefully I've really emphasized it, is about engaging with them and getting them talking. Because Alan P says questions are the answers, and he's right. And the more you can ask them things, talk to them, and they respond, what you'll find is you're in a communication engagement, and that's what you're after. You're after building rapport, that they all of a sudden realize you are not just a face on a sales stand. You're much, much more. You're somebody that they want to meet. That's what you're out to do. That's the prime thing. And also the other thing about 20K giveaways is, do you know what? We learn off each other, and it's a fantastic way of receiving no's, quite a lot of them. Annette knows I talk about the hand, you know. Some people just, they just look and there's no way they want to. And do you know what? Let them pass. Don't see them as a battleground to try and change them. Let them go, because there's lots more people to engage with. And I think that what will happen is, I think the public have been made, whether they like it or not, more alert with what's going on. And I think this month is key, because this is the month that direct debits are falling in place and prices are going up, and they are going to be very, very alert. And I think that it will be really quite good. If you don't have a bill, folks, if you're so new and you haven't got a bill, come to somebody like myself. I will happily send you one by PDF, but I'm going to beg you to get rid of my address and anything that is personal on it, because, hey, it's got all personal details on there. Yeah. Or maybe I might do one and I might cross it all out, and then I can scan it and I can send it to anybody if they want to. But this is a fabulous way of working as a team, having a lot of fun. That we play games, don't we? The person that gets the most no's goes and gets the teas or stuff like that, and you can really have some fun with it all. Now, I'm very aware it's 17:05 and I don't wish to go on longer. If there's anything you want me to talk about next week, please privately WhatsApp me. Maggie, you're on there without any video. I covered what you wanted last week. I did it. So make sure you watch. I did send out the recording. But hopefully that stuff's helped. Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's giveaway season. Okay, listen, see you all and take care next Tuesday as normal.
Please.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.